Hello everyone, I am Trisha Nicole Durban and today I am going to talk about the cry of Balintawak or the cry of Pugadlawin, and also the Philippine Revolution happened in way back 80s time. There are different versions on the dates for the first cry of the revolution and as well as its venue, and this controversy up to this time remains unresolved. It is believed that the first cry took place in Balintawak, but others would say that it really happened in Pugadlawin. So nevertheless, there are different versions to consider in knowing the real date and place of the crime. This includes the accounts of Pio Valenzuela, the cry of Pugadlawin, and the second one is Santiago Alvarez, the cry of Bahaituro. The third one is Gregoria de Jesus version of the first cry, and the last one is Guillermo Masangkay, the cry of Balintawak. The term cry is translated from the Spanish El Grito de Rebelión or El Grito for short. However, El Grito de Rebelión strictly refers to a decision or call to revolt. It does not necessarily connote shouting, unlike the Filipino sigaw. So this is the art of cry of Balintawak or cry of Pugadlawin. Pio Valenzuela's controversial cry of Pugadlawin in August 23, 1896. This controversial version of the cry of Pugadlawin has been authorized by no other than Dr. Pio Valenzuela, who had happened to be the eyewitness himself of the event. In his first version, he told the prime staging point of the cry was in Balintawak on Wednesday of August 26, 1896. Pio Valenzuela's account were still vivid in his memory. On the other hand, later in his life and with a fading memory, he wrote his memoir of the revolution without consulting the written documents of the Philippine Revolution and claimed that the cry took place on August 23, 1896. The cry of Pugadlawin was a cry for freedom. Its historic significance to us consists of the realization that the Filipino people had finally realized the lasting value of freedom and independence and the need to fight in order to prove themselves worthy to be called a truly free people. The first place of refuge of Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Procopio, Bonifacio, Teodoro Plata, Aguido del Rosario, and Pio Valenzuela was Balintawak, the first five arriving there on August 19 and on August 20, 1896. It was at Pugadlawin, the storehouse and yard of Juan Ramos, the son of Melchora Aquino, where over 1,000 members of the Katipunan met and carried out considerable debate and discussion on August 23, 1896. The discussion was on whether or not the revolution against the Spanish government shall be started on August 29, 1896. Only one man protested and fought against a war, and that was Teodoro Plata. After the meeting, many of those present their cedula, certificates, and shouted, "Mabuhay ang Pilipinas!" The cry of Bahaituro. This version was written by Santiago Alvarez, a well-known Katipunero from Cavite, and a son of Mariano Alvarez. Santiago Alvarez accounts were happened in August 23, 1896. He stated that as early as 10 o'clock in the morning at the barn of Cabezang Melchora at a place called Sampalucan, barrio of Bahaituro, the Katipuneros met together. About 500 of these arrived, ready and eager to join the Supremo Andres Bonifacio and his men. Gregoria de Jesus version of the first cry. This version was written by no other than Gregoria de Jesus, a well-known as Lakambini of the Katipunan. Gregoria de Jesus' accounts happened after the revolution in August 1896. She lived with her parents in Caloocan, then fled to Manila when she was told that the Spanish authorities wanted to arrest her. Eventually, she joined her husband in the mountains and shared adversities with him. In her account, the first cry happened near Caloocan on August 25, 1896. The Cry of Balintawak. So this version was written by Katipunero Guillermo Masangkay, and according to him, the first rally of Philippine Revolution happened on August 26, 1896 at Balintawak. Guillermo R. Masangkay was one of the original members of the Katipunan. He was designated to build the KKK in Cavite. His accounts contribute to our understanding of the cry of Balintawak and the death of Bonifacio. He was also a general in the Philippine-American War. He strongly supported the erection of the Bonifacio Monument and contributed 10,000 of his personal money for the effort. The activities of the Katipunan had reached nearly all corners of the Philippines archipelago, so that when its existence was discovered and some members arrested. On August 26, a big meeting was held in Balintawak at the house of Apolonio Samaon, then the cabeza of the barrio of Caloocan. The leaders of the Katipunan were Bonifacio, Emilio Jacinto, Aguedo de Rosario, Tomas Remigio, Brescio Pantas, Teodoro Plata, Pio Valenzuela, Enrico Pacheco, and Francisco Carrion. So that's all. Thank you. Bye.